Public health officials nationally and definitely locally are doing everything they can to try and get the hesitant people vaccinated, educate them. To help us do that tonight is Onondaga County Health Commissioner Dr. Indu Gupta. Dr. Gupta, thanks so much for everything your team has done up to this point, this past 14 months with this pandemic. And then thank you so much for joining us live tonight to really get to the bottom of this vaccine hesitancy. Really appreciate all your efforts.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for having me.
So let's see, where are we right now in Onondaga County? How much work do we need to do? Where are we with our vaccination rate? Seems like we've kind of slowed down. How much further do we need to go before we're in that good number, that herd immunity of 70 and 90% vaccination?
Right. So we have done quite well in our community, as you know. So if you look at our total numbers, our population is about 460,000. And if you take away the younger children who are not eligible at this point, the overall vaccine has been given to 220,000 individuals from all different sides. Our clinic ourselves has given 53,000 plus dosage for the first doses and about 46,000 both doses. So overall in our community, nearly 170,000 people have been fully vaccinated, which is fantastic to hear, right? It's good. And when you go down into different areas and zip codes, we started to see where the pockets are. Overall, we are seeing about between, range could be from 30 to somewhat 60% at this point, depending on where you live. So we still have a lot of work to do to reach to 70 to 80% herd immunity. And then the part which you were mentioning in your segment is the children who are who really are not part of this group at this point. They need to be vaccinated. So 12 to 15 years of age, when they will get approval from the FDA for the Pfizer, hopefully next week, the question comes at, will the parents be willing to vaccinate them? And the mention of the 1/3 of parents, they will do it right away. That's very comforting, but at the same time, 70% are hesitant and reluctant. I would say they need more information. So I think we want to discuss their concerns. And I acknowledge, as a mother, as a doctor, you know, I would think that people, when they hear these things, they want to get more information. So I certainly would like to provide as much as information to relieve the concern of both adults who want to get vaccinated themselves and they have been waiting, as well as the parents.
So let's start with the adults first off. What are some of the more recurring concerns that you've heard that for people who flat out said I'm not going to do it, or that hesitant group right there? Let's talk about that. What are the most common concerns you've heard?
Right. So based on, you know, I have talked to many people and throughout the community when they come to the clinic, or when we get the emails, or we get the contact health department, we get the phone calls. Based on that, I think what I would like to do, at least give some facts to the people, that think of the COVID-19 disease is pretty serious and deadly. It can pretty much impact your whole body system. COVID-19 vaccine, yes, it can give side effects. Certainly, I acknowledge that. I got side effect when I got the vaccine, both first dose somewhat, then the second dose I got a little bit more. But after that, I was just ready as good as new.
Dr. Gupta, I'm going to stop you there. How serious were those side effects? What are we talking when we hear, so that we're not just saying side effects, what are we talking about? For the majority of people, you can't ever say everybody, but what are side effects like?
So you're talking about, you know, having arm pain, you don't feel good, you may have temperature. Most of the people have low-grade temperatures, you can have body ache, you can feel tired, and you just want to lay down. And some people don't have much side effects. My husband didn't have much side effects. I have a little bit more. But the next day I was fine. In terms of overall, you just push yourself to eat and just get rest. Your body is trying to recognize the vaccine component, and what the fact, I think, which people need to remember, and this is a fact, that when the vaccine is given, after doing the work, both for mRNA vaccine, Pfizer and Moderna, as well as for Johnson & Johnson, the virus component does not stay in the system. It disappears. And what it does, it preps the body to produce the antibody and be ready if the COVID can come to you get exposed to COVID. The other thing I think people have been concerned about, there was a very fast process. It just went too fast, everything. And how can you approve everything? People just, did shortcuts. So the fact is, the technology for both mRNA vaccine, which we are talking Pfizer and Moderna, has been decades old. You remember the SARS and MERS and adenovirus is something that not new. So those technology has been developed, that mRNA, and when the genetic code of this SARS-CoV, the causative agent of COVID-19, was put forward by WHO, the scientists ran to start preparing for the vaccine to use that pre-existing technology. And same is true for the Johnson & Johnson, for the adenovirus. That's in 1973, that information has been out there. And in terms of the second part is that process, how it was done for the clinical trial. You're talking phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. They were rigorous process. They were double blind. It means you have a one control group. It means the people who were given like a water, like a salt water, and then other one was to given the real vaccine. And they were done from few testing in the phase 1 to few hundreds to 30,000 or up to 40,000. So these were, and then the third phase was that FDA went through the rigorous process of evaluation within our country. It's not something we are talking about. And the medical experts, the scientists, all those people whose livelihood is this, is the one who were able to do that. The other concern I think people have brought is that that it can change your DNA. So one thing is important, or that can have it's a tracking device or something like that. So that's not a fact, which is true. I think it's really concern for people because here is something new coming. What I can reassure you in terms of just to give you a little bit of lesson in terms of biology will be, you think of our heart and lungs and our body tissue. They are tissues. Group of certain tissues make your heart or the lung, right, or the eyes. And then each tissue consists of cells, like a microscopic, tiny little cells, single units. And those single units, you have a nucleus, and then you have a sap outside. It's called cytoplasm. And DNA is within the separate compartment. It has its own suite. That's nucleus. And mRNA, which is for the Pfizer and for Moderna, is out in the cytoplasm. They are two separate chambers. The mRNA cannot enter into that site. It does its work and stimulates and creates all the preparation so the body can produce the antibody. So this is very important. These are very important factor.
Yep, absolutely.
What are the things?
Does not change your DNA then. There it
doesn't.
So.
And then one of those things is why vaccine, right? People say that why should we get the vaccine? Right. I'm doing fine.
Yep, last one for you. Yeah, why? Why is it so important that we get it quickly? Right,
so why? Because the first thing we have been living with this, right? I think we want to sit down with our friends and families, hug our friends and family, and then grandchildren, children, go out for a hot meal and have a good laugh and watch the ball game together. All these things, vaccine actually can take us towards that normalcy. The more people get vaccinated, the more the community come back to normal. Number 2, economy. We all have seen the devastation of shutdown, right? The mom and pop shops disappeared. The things people love to do, and whether small stores, the big stores, the economy got really impacted by that. People lost jobs. It will bring the economy back. And the third, very important also, is that saving lives, right? Your own, your family, and friends. So it is very highly effective. More than the flu vaccine, you're talking, from 80 to 95% effectiveness of this vaccine. It is really good. These are all good vaccines.
Dr. Gupta, you've been great to spend so much time with us tonight. I really appreciate it. That is encouragement to go out. It's easy to find the vaccine now. We appreciate you being with us. You have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again soon.